Hi there. There we go. So, welcome. Welcome to this week's meditation. This is the week of the 16th of November. It's unbelievable how fast the time is going by now. It's really amazing. 16th, I guess, was it March 16th? Was it March 13th, March 16th when we began this quarantine? So we're really coming up on completing 8 months of doing this, moving on 9 months. And I must say, it's been getting, in my mind, increasingly difficult. And then to have this this growth in cases in the last week or so is really it's disconcerting. And but thank God we have this half hour where we can come together and we can meditate, take some time for some quiet, to take some time to clear ourselves a little bit, to find some calm and peace. This week we are in Toldot. Toldot is one of the great Torah portions in the Bible. And, you know, at the beginning of it, it just talks about the generations of Isaac, and then it starts right up and it says, Rebecca and Isaac had been trying to get pregnant and they weren't able to, and finally she becomes pregnant. And, surprise, it's twins. And it led us to the line that I spoke about last week, too soon, which was, if this is the way life is, then why do I exist? If life is so difficult, why do I exist? And I think that we could continue to look at that as to what things happen to us that cause us to really question our lives. But I thought that what we could think about today from the spiritual point of view is, and it's funny, it was said to me twice in the last 2 days, there's that famous saying, humanity plans and God laughs. And when you think about what Rebecca and Isaac are going through, they decide they're going to have a baby, and it turns out that they have twins. Surprise. There's lots of surprises that happen to us in our lives. We make all kinds of plans. As a matter of fact, one of my acting teachers back in 1979, Ray Monroe at Clark University, he used to believe that all people enter into every situation looking for a situational victory. You come and you meet someone, you're looking for something, you're looking to win. That's your plan. How many times have you had a conversation in your mind? I'm going to say this, and then that person's going to say this, and then I'm going to say that, and then they're going to say that, and I'm going to say this, and that's how the conversation's going to go. And then you start the conversation, and that person doesn't say the first thing that you wanted them to say. And so what are you going to do? You already rehearsed all the things that you were going to respond, and now you have completely different responses. That happens to me every single day of my life, right? I say, I'm going to say this. And because everything's in my mind, I have that point of view. Other people don't have the same point of view. So whatever I've rehearsed for myself, life never turns out to be exactly like that. It's always a little bit different. Sometimes I'm surprised by the reaction. Sometimes I'm infuriated by the reaction. But whatever it is, sometimes I'm pleasantly pleased by the reaction. I was looking for a fight, and I ended up without one. But I thought that we could think about the idea that, unlike last week when the servant said, if this exact thing happens, then that's going to be the one. Most of the time we say, well, if this exact thing happens, that's going to be the one, and then we go to where we thought that exact same thing would happen, and it doesn't happen that way. So the spiritual dimension of that is, how do we deal with it? What do we do with those moments where we think we know exactly what's going to happen, and something different happens. Can't help but think of Cantor Weiss's parents, have 2 kids. They're grown, ready to go off to college, and they're like, let's have another baby. And they end up having 3. 3 babies at one time. Surprise. Life is surprises. I think Forrest Gump said it best. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, we plan, we decide we want things, and then life moves. And whatever life brings us, we have to go with that. And sometimes that can be paralyzing because we weren't expecting the direction that life went in. But today can be about this idea that how do I meet the reality of what is as opposed to what I thought it would be. When I was 22, I wrote a song, and one of the lyrics has stayed with me my whole life, since I was 20. And it is, fate puts you where you are instead of where you thought you'd be. And that's the way I think of what happens in our lives, is we think we may be somewhere, and we end up just being where we are. And in mindfulness, that truth of where we are and what we're actually doing and what we're really feeling, based upon everything that happens to us, that relationship of what's happening to us, our reaction to it, and meeting the truth of that moment is really what mindfulness is about. Being mindful of the truth of every single moment. Now, there may be times where we're mistaken and we read it one way, but it's not that way. But it's the attempt to figure it out. It's the attempt to look at what's in front of us and say, okay, what can I do now with that? How can I meet it? Who am I if this is my reality? All of those questions happen inside of us without us really thinking about it. So our mindfulness work, our practice, is to notice the way our actual lives affect us. Not the way the things we think are going to happen affect us, but what actually does happen. Because most of the time, if not all of the time, what actually happens is very different than what we imagined in our mind's eye what's going to happen. How do we deal with that? I'd like to think that this work that we're doing to find stillness and to find quiet and resting our mind can help us to better meet those challenges that are in front of us, to better meet those obstacles, those surprises, the things that are happening to us that we just couldn't have imagined. So let's get ourselves ready for our meditation today and get yourself into a comfortable position. Remember, we're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to fix anything right now. This isn't like, oh, we're going to do this meditation and we're cured. We are going to have the maladies we have right now after we're done. But hopefully we can come to understand them better and understand ourselves better and find a place so we can kind of come at the issues that are in front of us in a clean way. So at the end, we'll ask for safety and health, especially now with what's happening in the world. We really need that health. So let's get ourselves ready. Remember, we're breathing normally. We're just breathing regular. And noticing how that breath enters and leaves our body. And all of the feeling that we have and the sounds that are around us and everything that we're experiencing in our lives. I'm sure your thoughts have already come in to take you somewhere. It's okay. It's supposed to happen. Just in love, in chesed, in loving kindness. Just take yourself back to your breath. And every time you notice that you've gone away from your breath, just bring yourself back. There's no need to get mad about it. It happens to every single person. So just bring yourself back in love. Be nice to yourself. For our last 4 or 5 minutes together, I invite you to ask for 2 feelings. One is a feeling of safety, and the other is the feeling of health. And on each breath, you can ask for one or both. So we start with, may I feel safe. May I feel safe. And we're asking for this as opposed to let me be safe, because it's how we feel about what's happening. That inside we have to feel safe, because we could be as safe as can be. If we don't feel it, we're not. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. I think that one goes without saying. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel safe and healthy. Feels good to say it. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe and healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. If you'd like to invite someone to be with you, stand in front of you in your mind's eye, we ask that for them with every breath. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. May you feel safe and healthy. And just in several breaths, let's offer those feelings to whoever it is you brought this be in front of you. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. May you feel safe and healthy. And then when you feel like you're ready, just bring it back to you. May I feel safe. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. May I feel safe and healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel healthy. For our last moments together, let's just concentrate on the now once again. Our breath. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you were able to find stillness and peace. May you feel safe. May you feel healthy. I hope you have a wonderful evening.